And Pole? The lighter L was a feature of New York Latino English. But Latinx people are a very diverse group of people, and they speak a variety of varieties. We'll get to more of those later.
Thank you, Megan. And this single feature is a good contrast with other New York accents, by the way.
Dominican Spanish is heavily influenced by New York City. So there's we obviously do a lot of Spanglish because of that huge migration that there was from the Caribbean to the United States. In our case, what Florida was to Cuba, New York, specifically like New York City, was to Dominicans. There are a lot of Dominicans in New York City, New York State. I mean, we're all across the East Coast, but mainly it's New York City. And that huge migration that happened during the 40s, 50s, and 60s then led to, first and second generation children born that learned that Spanish and then had that English, and then it just fused right into what is like Spanglish, which for many people wouldn't make any sense, but for specifically for example, Caribbean people, like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, first, second, third generations that are born in the U.S., it's a lot more common to speak Spanglish. But yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying this topic. Let me know in chat if you're having a great time. I am a Bay Area variety streamer. That's the first thing. I'm a reactionary live streamer. I'm a digital creator. I love I love to talk about things that maybe not everyone would want to talk about, but I personally find them very interesting, and I like to learn things. There's so much in this world to learn about and gain knowledge from that. I feel like I wouldn't be doing my part in this world if I would not be talking about things that could, further advance a little bit of that knowledge. Because I'm pretty sure there are lots of things here that I surely didn't know. And I know that maybe there's a lot of people that didn't know, a lot of people viewing right now that didn't know as well. So learning is always great, and the most important part before I hit play is the times may change, but knowledge is power. The more you know. And it doesn't hurt to know more. Ever. So with that being said, I'm glad, I'm happy to whoever's viewing, and yeah, let's continue to learn. I'm gonna press play now.
Because most other New York accents are pretty dark L's. Lots of lemon lollipops, la la. I like to lick 'em. So now, as we leave New York and head south into Jersey and towards Philadelphia, we cross a major dialect boundary, the on line. Now, north of this line, most people say on, rhymes with don. South of it, they say on, rhymes with dawn. Of course, this doesn't apply at all if you rhyme dawn and dawn, only if you have two distinct pronunciations. That's called the cot-caught merger, but we'll talk more about that later. There are a few major dialect areas in the US, and one of the biggest dividing lines is between northern dialects and midland dialects. The on line basically runs right along this boundary. So as we cross over it somewhere around Trenton, we've crossed from the north to the Midlands, dialect-wise. Now, another thing that starts to happen as we get down towards Philly is that the goat diphthong starts to move forwards in the mouth. So we get go, hoagies. You want to go get some hoagies? Goat gets maybe even a little further forward as we get down to Baltimore, especially, Danny Ocean. You want to go Danny Ocean on Wednesday? Let's make a quick stop in D.C., where Nicole has some really interesting stuff on the prosody of local African-American speakers.
In my research, I study prosody, which has to do with the tone and intonation of the phrase itself. In a study, I found that African-American speakers may be more likely to ask a yes-no question with a level tone or a falling tone. For white speakers, we expect a rising tone in questions like these. So something like, did you do the dishes? But African American speakers may be more likely to say something like, did you do the dishes? Another feature that we see in DC, similar to New York, is the raised thought cloth vowel, that ah. This is a new feature in DC, and we think it's part of a pattern of DC varieties becoming more like northern cities as opposed to the South. You can hear that in this clip.
Change is needed, but at what cost? At what cost? Cost.
Okay, let's go back to Eric.
Now we take a quick detour over to Pittsburgh. Yous are the only people in all of North America that smooths the mouth diphthong, except for maybe Chicago sometimes. Now smoothing is when you take a diphthong, like ow, and smooth it out so it's just one sound, ah. Just like we have price smoothing in much of the South, so that I smooths out to just ah, price. Same thing here, except with the mouth vowel smoothing out to a long ah sound. Yins want to meet downtown, go shopping for catches? Heading back over to the...
Oh, nice, you're from Pittsburgh. Sweet. I mean, is that something you can confirm? What you just said? Because that was actually pretty interesting. And yeah, let me know, Mushroom, if you can confirm that that's actually the way it's the way that accent works in Pittsburgh. It sounds a little country. Interesting. Interesting. So you're somewhere in that map there. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if they talk a little more about kind of the same area where you're in.
The Delmarva Peninsula. As we head down into Virginia, we get something different happening with that same mouth diphthong. Here it's going to sound like oat, mouth, house. So it's not smoothing out here, it's raising. The tongue starts...
You took a 4-year college course called IPA where we learned different accents and dialects and how to spell out words in IPA, so this is giving me PTSD. Well, I mean, I that's so awesome, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I guess, oh, you're an acting major. Well, yeah, I mean, I remember seeing it on your YouTube. I did see the Euphoria video that you did, and obviously I commented on your performance. But you graduated. There you go. But I mean, the fact that you had to learn different accents, and understandable because you're an acting major, so obviously you would have to learn. That's so awesome. So this is like, I'm guessing that this is all just things that you've heard about before, because I mean, you definitely, if you had to study it and it was something that was part of your curriculum, then this must be like a breeze for you. That would be so cool. I mean, dang, if... See, that's what happens when you don't ask around, because that would have been awesome if like, I would have had you on the show today so that you could be able to kind of do so, like, I mean, if you would have wanted to, of course, with your I would ask first, obs, but that would have been so cool, because if you did this and you would have had all, like, so much experience, like, you could be able to talk in all these different accents. Well, that's so awesome. I can't do any accents at all. If you my British accent sounds like a Jamaican man. That's how bad my accents are. I can't even do like a basic New York accent. I can only do the basic plain English, like the way I talk. That's it. I can't do any accent. I can't even do like the Spanish accent correctly, like the Spaniards. I can't even do that. That's the only one you can't do? Yeah, join the club. Well, not join the club. You're in the club now, because I can't either. I have a friend, and she does, like, she does so many accents, and she can do them very well. Ah, that is so awesome. I definitely can't do any of them. That's why I'm not even gonna try, because nah. But again, albeit the fact that it's causing you PTSD because you're remembering, I guess, all the times you had to study all this stuff. But if anything, it's a refresher. It was a very mind-fucking class. I can only imagine. And then when you're faced with, and again, based off of the explanations that he's given, you know, different parts of like different states, but that are very close to each other, that speak sort of the same, but they just have like minor differences. And like I could only imagine you being in the classroom and the teacher asking you for like a specific accent, and then you doing it, and it's not correct, but it kind of is, because it kind of does sound like the one you were trying to do. It's insane.